everybody. Today we are with Nina Jackel from Lady Freethinker, and we're so excited that she has her new movie out. And I want to introduce Nick to Nina, Nina, Nick. And Nick, why don't you take it away? Let's ask her some questions about the movie.
Sure. Thanks for joining us, Nina. I was just telling you before we got on the record that Lady Freethinker has been signing up to support social compassion legislation's bills for years. So it's really nice to finally put a face behind the name Lady Freethinker. So, Nina, you are coming out with a documentary called We Are Animals. Did I get that right?
Absolutely, yes, we are animals.
And so first off, like what inspired you to make the movie?
Yeah, so I've seen firsthand the power that documentaries can have. We've seen minds change and even laws change, systems change after say Blackfish and Cowspiracy and even Tiger King, which probably wasn't really meant to be an animal welfare documentary, but I feel like it did a lot to educate people on that issue. And we do have better legislation now, probably at least partially because of it. And I feel that animals, need this. As the title says, that we are animals. It's really about kind of shattering this wall that people still have, separating the us and the them. Them being the other species. And I think we all do sort of know from seventh grade science class that humans are animals, right? But the way that we're treating them in our systems, which many people might not even know about, is pretty appalling. And I really wanted to, shine a light on those systems and also show the latest science that really clearly demonstrates how close we are to our fellow species in nearly every way.
Well,
Absolutely. Oh, go
I,
ahead, Judy.
I
Sorry.
watched the documentary last night, and I think you did such a great job of explaining the cruelty and showing some of it, but going up to a line that you're not freaking everybody out and they want to get up and walk out of the theater or shut it off. So I have to compliment you on that because a lot of animal rights documentaries, people just can't get through because they're so sad and explicit. So I think you did a really good job with that. I wanted to throw that in.
I appreciate that.
Yeah.
And that was the intention, so I'm glad we achieved it. I want anybody to be able to watch this documentary and not want to walk out of the room.
Yeah, and when I lobby our bills, I have been doing this work with Judy now for close to a decade. And so, of course, we know about all the horrific things that happen to animals, but I am continually surprised or not surprised that when I talk to staffers who are intelligent folks, these are college educated folks that a lot of times have graduate degrees, they have no idea what really happens to
Yeah.
animals. So 100%, this is information that most people don't absorb and don't know.
And we
Right.
do use documentaries as, when we're lobbying things. And the one that you mentioned, Joe, what was his name? Joe.
The Tiger King,
Yeah,
Joe. Yeah.
yeah, that guy. I mean, we totally use that. That gave everybody, now they knew what we were talking about, and thank goodness those guys got shut down and
Yeah.
thrown in jail. So what did you learn through the process?
Honestly, we interviewed so many wonderful advocates like you. Thank you so much for interviewing with us. It's such an important part of the documentary and adds so much. That legislative angle is really important. But every interview, inspired me, to be honest. And I deal with a lot of animal cruelty on a daily basis. It's a bombardment. I'm sure you experience the same thing. And it was actually kind of refreshing to talk to people who are doing something and look at the progress that's happening. and see the light at the end of the tunnel, because there really is hope. And sometimes it doesn't feel that way because things happen so slowly, and the change never comes fast enough when you know that an animal is being tortured somewhere, right? But the community and just the groundswell of really good-hearted people who are working on behalf of the animals, and just a level of compassion and energy toward helping them that I saw. For me, that just, it made my day after every interview, and, doing this for, yeah, 6 years. It, it left an impact in that way, in a positive way.
Yeah, you had a great cast of characters, and I'm so proud that I got to be one of them.
Yeah, a lot of legends are in your movie. A lot of legends in the movement. Absolutely. So, Nina, now that the movie's coming out, and you've, put all this blood, sweat, and tears into making it, what is your hope for the outcome of the movie and what you hope it brings to the movement as a whole?
Yeah, well, I hope that it educates people first and foremost. The goal of the movie is to raise awareness. And I think that, people already in the movement will appreciate it and love it because of the cast, as you mentioned. It does have some legends. Um, and the topic is, near and dear to their hearts, but I also really hope that people who don't yet know about these issues will learn something, and most importantly, that they'll realize that they are able to do something about it. It's not just a beat down, it's opening your eyes, but then understanding that each of us can make decisions. And, even if you're not changing your entire lifestyle overnight, that's okay. There are things that you can do, and every step that you take makes a difference.
Absolutely. Yeah, I like to talk when I talk to people who are not vegan and they bring up, oh, what can I do? I try to implore people that they don't have to go from 0 to 100 overnight.
Yeah, that's
That it's a
daunting.
process. And like, if you just take that first step, next thing you know, 5 years down the line, you may be 90% of the way there. And
Exactly.
it's important just to take that first step.
I just wanted to add that, I've seen some documentaries where people pack in way too much information. They try to get everything in it, and they can go on a little too long, and you kind of lose your way through it. And I also wanted to compliment you that I felt that it really had a nice flow, and you got in a lot of information, but not too much that it lost its way. And I hope that you understand that, because if you've seen as many, and I'm sure you have as I have, you know what I mean, right?
Yeah, no, I appreciate that. Thank you.
So if someone wanted to cover some topic in animal rights, what would your advice be after this entire process that you've undergone? What would your advice be to someone who wants to make a documentary?
To make a documentary. So, people ask me the same question often about starting a nonprofit, and I think the answer is actually very similar. First, be absolutely certain that this is something that you want to do badly enough that you will put years of your time and endless resources into. Research what it takes, because it is a lot. Understand that you will undergo pitfalls that you could have never imagined more than once. And then if you still want to do it, please go for it, because we need all of the voices we can get out there, getting the message out, whether it's about animals, any other kind of injustice. I mean, the world needs more awareness and more compassion. So if you've got it in you, go for it.
100%.
That's inspirational. I love that. Well, I really appreciate that you invited me on, several years ago now. And since then, like I said, we've gone in the movie, I think I say 43 bills and have signed into law. And now, thank goodness, we've done 80 sponsored bills with 30 signed into law. And we're really hoping we have three more that we are sponsoring this year that'll get signed. So, a lot has happened in this period. And one of the things as I was watching the movie and reflecting on the day of the interview with you and thinking about, progress that's been made. Yes, we've had setbacks, but we've had a lot of progress, and just kind of wanted to talk to you about what are your thoughts about animals in politics and legislation since that day you filmed me all those years ago.
Yeah, I mean, honestly, at the time, my mind was blown by how many bills you'd sponsored, and now it's about double that, which is, I mean, it's incredible. So,
Thank
just
you.
huge kudos to you for that because it's hard to even wrap my head around. It's just so much. It must be so much work, and it's so important. And I'm so glad that that is happening. And yeah, I mean, we are seeing stronger protections across the country, even within federal legislation. It's emerged as a bipartisan issue, one of the only bipartisan issues now, which is incredible. Maybe not every bill is bipartisan, but in general, nobody wants to see animal cruelty. And it's very heartening to see the progress that has made. But of course, there's still a huge battle ahead of us, and some legislation is still being fought against years after passage, like Prop 12. They still want to roll back that, and it's just ridiculous. So, we are sort of pitted against industries making large profits, and they have something to lose if they treat animals better. These issues are always more difficult when the economy is involved, but I do believe that the future is on our side and we are on the right track. And there will be some ups and downs. That's just how any progress goes with any movement. But I think that we are absolutely on the right path, and it's thanks to people like you and
Thank you.
everybody who's raising their voice for the animals.
Thank you. Well,
And
Nick,
you.
yeah, and
Thank
Nick
you.
Nick said something to me today about we were talking about the ups and downs over the years for animal rights. And he said, hey, if we weren't doing something right, we wouldn't have, the industries, the big guns targeting us, we're a
That's for
threat
sure.
because
Yeah.
we are making Nick, do you want to fill
Well,
in?
I was just referring to them, a lot of the meat industry coming after plant-based foods and trying to get, milk and burger off of the plant-based
Right.
labels, attacking alternative proteins, and they wouldn't be doing that if they weren't afraid of it.
Right.
Exactly.
Oat milk has, skyrocketed to the top. And, so it's like they're trying to take us backwards, but it's because we're moving quickly forward, So,
Yep.
well, we look really forward to seeing you on Thursday night at your premiere.
Thank you.
And what can we expect there? What do you have lined up? And we got to get people to buy tickets and join us. So tell us
Yeah.
about Thursday night.
Yeah. So Thursday night at the Lumiere Cinema, it's on Wilshire and Beverly Hills. We'll start the red carpet around 5:30, and then the show is actually at 6 p.m. So you can show up and buy tickets at the door. You can also buy them online at the festival website. Yeah, I do hope to see everybody there. It's going to be a really fun and exciting evening.
Yay, we will be there. Thank you so much. And thanks for spending time with us today.
Thank you. It's been a pleasure to talk to both of you.
Thank
Thank you,
you.
Nina.